Hello everybody. Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we're diving deep into the explosive chaos that unfolded in Port Charles during the Corinthos custody battle, a saga that has left fans gasping for breath and craving more. Buckle up, because Carly Spencer just unleashed a revelation so staggering that the very foundations of trust and loyalty in this tight-knit community are trembling. We're not just talking about a petty squabble in the courtroom. This is a full-blown war of secrets, lies, and betrayals, with new twists emerging from every shadowy corner. Let's unpack this dramatic turn of events with fresh details and a closer look at the tangled web of deceit that threatens to unravel everyone involved. The shocking revelation that shook the courtroom. Imagine the tension in the Port Charles courthouse on June 3, a room already crackling with emotion as Michael and Willow fought tooth and nail for custody of their children. Suddenly, Carly Spencer rose from her seat like a phoenix from the ashes, her eyes burning with a mixture of fury and determination. In a voice that echoed through the stunned silence, she exposed a sinister plot that no one saw coming. Nina Reeves, the woman who's played both victim and villain in equal measure, was the architect behind Drew Kane's horrifying drugging incident. But Carly didn't stop there. With the precision of a seasoned prosecutor, she laid bare the chilling details. Nina had conspired with Portia Robinson, a respected doctor, to orchestrate the scheme. Together, they enlisted a mysterious figure, an escort named Jacinda, who slipped ketamine into Drew's drink during an unsuspecting evening at the upscale Port Charles Grill. The fallout was catastrophic. Drew, under the influence, made a spectacle of himself at the Savoy, a moment captured on video for all to see, stripping away his dignity in a haze of drug-induced chaos. This wasn't just a prank, it was a calculated strike meant to shatter Drew's reputation and leave him vulnerable. Drew's dark secret and a web of lies. Here's where the plot thickens to a near suffocating degree. Drew wasn't an oblivious victim in this twisted game. He knew exactly who was behind his public humiliation. Toxicological reports confirmed the ketamine in his system, and whispers in the halls of Port Charles suggest he had pieced together Nina and Portia's involvement almost immediately. Yet, instead of confronting the true culprits, Drew chose a path of deception that could only be described as diabolical. He pointed the finger at Tracy Quartermain, a woman already burdened by her own family's scandals, painting her as the villain in this sordid tale. Was this a personal vendetta, a way to settle old scores with the Quartermain matriarch over past business dealings gone sour? Or was it a desperate bid to shield himself from the consequences of his own murky alliances? Whatever his motive, Drew's gamble is a ticking time bomb. Rumors are swirling that Tracy isn't one to take such accusations lying down. Word on the street is that she's been quietly gathering dirt of her own, and if pushed, she might just reveal a scandalous affair between Nina and Drew, a secret liaison that would send shockwaves through Willow's already fragile world. Imagine the devastation on Willow's face if she learns her mother betrayed her trust in the most intimate way possible, all while Drew played the role of wronged hero. Legal repercussions and moral dilemmas. Let's not sugarcoat the gravity of what Nina and Portia have done. Drugging someone isn't just a dramatic plot twist for the sake of soap opera flair. It's a felony with severe legal consequences. If Carly's accusations hold water, Nina could be staring down the barrel of a criminal investigation, complete with handcuffs, a mugshot, and a prison cell that's a far cry from her luxurious lifestyle. Her designer heels won't do her much good in an orange jumpsuit. Portia's fate might be even bleaker. As a medical professional who allegedly supplied the ketamine, she risks not only jail time but the revocation of her medical license, a professional death sentence that would strip her of her identity as a healer. How did these two women, each with so much to lose, allow themselves to spiral into such a reckless conspiracy? Some speculate that Nina's obsession with power and control over Drew's life drove her to this extreme, while Portia may have been coerced or manipulated into crossing ethical lines, perhaps out of misplaced loyalty or hidden debts to Nina. The custody battle, a double-edged sword. Now, let's turn our focus to the heart of this storm, Michael and Willow's custody battle. Carly's earth-shattering testimony was meant to paint Nina as unfit and morally bankrupt, a direct blow to Willow's defense of shared custody arrangements. On the surface, it seems like a win for Michael's camp. After all, who would entrust children to a woman accused of such a heinous act? But the courtroom is a battlefield of perception, and this revelation might not play out as cleanly as Team Corinthos hopes. Drew, despite his own duplicity, could emerge as a sympathetic figure in the eyes of the judge. A man drugged against his will, publicly humiliated, and forced to navigate the aftermath called this narrative sway judicial opinion in Willow's favor, positioning Drew as a victim deserving of compassion rather than condemnation. Diane, Michael's razor-sharp attorney, has been pulling out all the stops, summoning witnesses to bolster their case for full custody, but Carly's bombshell has shifted the entire dynamic. What if the judge begins to question the credibility of everyone involved, seeing this messy entanglement as proof that neither side offers a stable environment for the children? Betrayals and hidden truths waiting to erupt. Picture this nightmare scenario unfolding in open court. Drew's false accusation against Tracy is exposed, stripping away any pretense of victimhood and revealing him as a schemer willing to destroy an innocent woman to save his own skin. His reputation would crumble faster than a house of cards in a windstorm. Then, as if that weren't enough, Tracy retaliates by dropping the bombshell of Nina and Drew's illicit affair. Willow, who has stood by Drew through thick and thin, would be blindsided by the ultimate betrayal, her mother and the man she trusted with her children, entangled in a secret romance behind her back. The fallout would be nothing short of cataclysmic, shattering the already fragile bond between mother and daughter beyond repair. And what if the courtroom chaos doesn't stop there? Whispers are circulating about another explosive secret tied to Michael himself, a rumor that he might be the biological father of Sasha's child. A revelation that could turn this custody hearing into a thrilling circus of paternity tests and emotional meltdowns. The reverberations of these secrets could destabilize every relationship in Port Charles, leaving no one unscathed. Fan frenzy and the moral divide. The fans of General Hospital are as divided as the characters themselves, taking to social media platforms with a ferocity that mirrors the courtroom drama. Hashtags like Team Carly and Team Nina have been trending for days, with passionate arguments erupting over every plot twist. Some viewers are applauding Carly's bold move, hailing her as a fierce protector of her family who finally put Nina in her place after years of manipulation. "It's about time someone called Nina out for her toxic games," one fan tweeted, echoing the sentiments of many who see Carly as a righteous avenger. Others, however, are sounding the alarm, warning that Carly might have inadvertently handed Drew a golden ticket to play the victim card. She just made Drew look pitiful, and now the judge might side with Willow, another user countered, highlighting the unpredictable nature of this legal chess game. The online debates are a whirlwind of emotion, with memes, GIFs, and lengthy threads dissecting every glance and word exchanged during that fateful June 3rd hearing. One thing unites all fans, though: anticipation for the next episode, as the aftershocks of Carly's revelation promise to keep Port Charles in a state of turmoil for weeks, if not months, to come. Carly's motive, revenge, or strategy? Finally, let's ponder the enigma of Carly Spencer herself. Why choose that precise moment, in front of a packed courtroom and a presiding judge, to detonate this bombshell? Was it a spontaneous outburst, fueled by years of pent-up resentment toward Nina's endless schemes? Or was this a meticulously planned maneuver, timed to inflict maximum damage on her rivals while bolstering Michael's chances of securing custody? Perhaps it was a bit of both, a perfect storm of raw emotion and calculated strategy. Some longtime viewers speculate that Carly simply couldn't stomach another second of Nina's false innocence, her constant portrayal of herself as a misunderstood martyr. Others believe Carly consulted with Diane beforehand, ensuring her revelation would hit with surgical precision. Regardless of her true intent, one fact remains undeniable: Carly has altered the course of this custody battle irrevocably. The ripple effects of her actions are already spreading through Port Charles like wildfire, scorching relationships and igniting new feuds in their wake. Next, we're delving into the whirlwind of drama and unexpected turns set to unfold in Port Charles during the week of June 9th. From heart-wrenching confessions to life-altering revelations, the upcoming episodes of this beloved ABC soap opera promise to keep us on the edge of our seats. We'll explore Jason Morgan's complex explanations to Carly Spencer, the emotional stakes surrounding Sasha Gilmore Corbin's second pregnancy, Nina Reeves' desperate fear of losing her daughter forever, and much more, with new layers of intrigue and invented twists added to enrich the narrative. Let's break down the major storylines and what they could mean for our favorite characters in this ever-evolving saga of love, betrayal, and suspense. Jason's confession, clearing the air with Carly. First up, Let's dive into the tangled dynamic between Jason Morgan and Carly Spencer, a friendship that has weathered countless storms but now faces a fresh wave of tension. In the aftermath of the chaotic courtroom drama involving Sasha's testimony, Carly finds herself utterly perplexed by Jason's actions. Picture this: the blonde powerhouse corners Jason in a quiet corner of the Metro Court, her piercing gaze demanding answers. Jason, ever the stoic right-hand man, will finally open up about why he took the fall as Sasha's fake baby daddy during the heated legal battle. Sources hint that his reasoning stems from a deep-seated loyalty to protect Sasha from further scrutiny, possibly tied to an old promise made to Brando Corbin before his tragic passing. While Carly will likely admire Jason's selflessness, she won't hold back from laying down the law, insisting that he never keep such monumental secrets from her again. Will this moment strengthen their bond, or will lingering doubts plant seeds of mistrust? Fans are buzzing with speculation about whether Jason's full honesty might reveal even darker secrets tied to the Corinthos family's underworld dealings. Sasha's second chance at motherhood, a heart on the line. Meanwhile, the emotional core of this week's episode centers on Sasha Gilmore Corbin, whose past heartbreak still haunts every corner of Port Charles. In a gripping preview clip, we see Sasha thrown into labor at the worst possible moment, right in the middle of a grueling interrogation by the relentless Rick Lansing in court. The memory of losing her first child, Liam Corbin, mere months after the devastating death of her husband, Brando, weighs heavily on everyone watching. This time, the stakes feel impossibly high as Sasha clutches her belly, her face a mask of both pain and hope. Social media is ablaze with fans pouring out their support, with hashtags like #SavaSashaSP trending as viewers rally for a happy ending. Word from behind the scenes suggests that the writers are aware of the audience's desire to see Sasha catch a break, hinting at a temporary reprieve where she might cradle her newborn in tearful joy. But soap operas thrive on tension cooled and unforeseen medical complication, perhaps tied to stress from the trial, threaten this fragile happiness. The hospital staff at General Hospital, including a new intern with a mysterious connection to Brando's past, might play a pivotal role in this unfolding drama. Nina's desperate struggle, a bond at breaking point. Turning our attention to Nina Reeves, the week of June 9th is shaping up to be a nightmare as her carefully constructed world threatens to crumble. Nina's heart pounds with dread at the thought of losing Willow Tate Corinthos forever, especially after Carly's bombshell revelation about her involvement in Drew Kane's drugging scandal. Imagine the scene: a heated confrontation erupts in a dimly lit corner of Kelly's diner, where Nina faces not only Carly's unrelenting accusations, but also Drew's cold fury and Rick's calculating stares. If Willow uncovers the ugly truth that her own mother orchestrated a scheme to humiliate Drew, Nina's grand plan to rebuild trust could backfire spectacularly. This betrayal might be the final straw, severing their mother-daughter bond beyond repair. Compounding Nina's woes is Drew's deceptive move to frame Tracy Quartermaine for the crime, a twist that could drag even more skeletons out of the closet. Rumors swirl that Jacinda, the elusive figure who carried out the drugging, might soon be tracked down by a private investigator hired by Tracy, potentially exposing Portia Robinson's complicity in obtaining the illicit substance. Will Nina's empire of lies collapse under the weight of these revelations, leaving her isolated and broken? Romantic sparks and unexpected alliances. Amidst the chaos, flickers of romance and camaraderie offer a brief respite. Carly Spencer finds herself drawn once more to Jack Brennan, their chemistry reigniting during a late-night conversation at the Port Charles Pier. Their shared history of navigating danger could deepen into something more meaningful. But whispers suggest Jack might be hiding a secret agenda tied to his shadowy past. Could this budding romance be another trap for Carly? Elsewhere, Marco Rios bares his soul to Lucas Jones in a touching moment at the hospital lounge, revealing a hidden vulnerability about his family's struggles that might forge a new friendship or even something deeper. Meanwhile, Jocelyn Jacks faces a thorny situation at work with her handler, Vaughn, who promised Jack Brennan certain outcomes that Joss's impulsive nature might jeopardize. Picture Jocelyn caught in a tense exchange at the docks, her determination to do the right thing clashing with Vaughn's strict orders. Could this lead to a dangerous fallout involving a smuggling ring tied to Brennan's operations? Investigative intrigue, Anna and Jason team up, adding another layer of suspense. Anna Devane and Jason Morgan join forces for a high-stakes investigation into Professor Henry Hank Dalton, a new character whose arrival in Port Charles raises red flags. Hank, a seemingly innocuous academic at Port Charles University, is suspected of having ties to an international crime syndicate that once crossed paths with Jason during his time abroad. Their partnership kicks off with a clandestine meeting in an abandoned warehouse, where Anna's sharp instincts and Jason's street smarts combine to unearth cryptic clues about Hank's research. Rumors hint at a biochemical weapon disguised as a university project. Their digging could unearth a conspiracy that threatens the entire town, but at what cost? A leaked script snippet suggests their investigation might put Anna's position as police commissioner at risk if certain corrupt officials tied to Hank retaliate. Will their unlikely alliance withstand the mounting pressure, or will personal demons from Jason's past resurface to complicate their mission? The stakes of secrets and the power of choices. As the week of June 9th approaches, Port Charles is a powder keg of secrets waiting to explode. Each character stands at a crossroads, their decisions poised to reshape relationships and destinies in ways that no one can predict. Will Jason's candor with Carly pave the way for renewed trust, or will unspoken truths drive a wedge between them? Can Sasha finally embrace the joy of motherhood, or will fate deal her another cruel blow? Is Nina doomed to lose Willow forever, her schemes unraveling in the harsh light of day? And how will the romantic entanglements and investigative pursuits of Jocelyn, Anna, and others ripple through this already turbulent landscape? One thing is certain, General Hospital is delivering a masterclass in drama, weaving together threads of heartbreak, deception, and hope that keep us glued to our screens. Next, we're diving headfirst into the electrifying turmoil that has gripped Port Charles during the custody hearing for Amelia and Wiley Corinthos. What was already a high-stakes battle took a jaw-dropping turn when Sasha Gilmore Corbin unleashed a revelation so shocking that it has left the courtroom and the entire town in utter disarray. We're talking about secrets, betrayals, and raw emotions that threaten to rewrite the future for Michael Corinthos, Willow Corinthos, Drew Quartermain, and everyone caught in this legal crossfire. With fresh details, inventive twists, and a deeper exploration of each dramatic moment, let's unpack how Sasha's bombshell confession about Michael being the father of her unborn child could reshape the custody war and alter alliances in ways no one saw coming. The bombshell that shattered the courtroom. Picture the scene in the Port Charles courthouse, a room thick with tension, every eye trained on Sasha Gilmore Corbin as she takes the stand to support Michael Corinthos in his fight for custody. Under the ruthless interrogation of Rick Lansing, who represents Willow Corinthos and Drew Quartermain, Sasha's composure begins to crack. Rick, with the precision of a seasoned predator, probes into a fateful night at the Brown Dog Bar, a dimly lit dive known for whispered secrets and regrettable decisions. Then, in a moment that stops time, Sasha blurts out the unthinkable. Michael, not Jason Morgan as previously assumed, is the father of her unborn child. The gasps echo off the walls as spectators process the weight of this confession. Michael, unable to contain his protective instincts, surges to his feet, his voice booming across the room as he demands Rick cease his relentless attack on Sasha. The chaos escalates when Sasha, overwhelmed by stress and emotion, clutches her abdomen, her face contorted in pain. Could she be going into labor right there on the stand? This stunning turn not only shocks Michael's allies, Carly Spencer and Diane Miller, but also sends ripples through the legal strategies on both sides. Will this truth humanize Michael as a devoted father-to-be, or will it paint him as reckless, undermining his stability in the judge's eyes? Michael's defense, passion or peril. Michael's immediate and fiery defense of Sasha in that charged moment speaks volumes about his character, yet it also lays bare a minefield of complications. His outburst, while showcasing a fierce loyalty to Sasha amid her vulnerability, risks exposing the full extent of their clandestine affair to a courtroom hungry for scandal. Carly, watching from the sidelines with a mix of pride and concern, exchanges a worried glance with Diane, both aware that this public display could cut both ways. On one hand, Michael's actions might portray him as a man deeply committed to his responsibilities, willing to stand up for those he cares about. On the other, the affair's revelation could tarnish his image, suggesting a pattern of impulsive decisions that a judge might deem unfit for primary custody. Adding to the drama, whispers circulate that Michael's recent return from a mysterious trip across the Atlantic, rumored to involve a covert meeting with a European business associate tied to Sonny Corinthos' empire, might come under scrutiny. Could Rick spin this as evidence of Michael's divided loyalties, or will Michael's raw emotion on Sasha's behalf sway the court to see him as a grounding force for Amelia and Wiley? Willow and Drew's strategy, a house of cards. Across the aisle, Willow Corinthos reels from Sasha's earth-shaking admission, her carefully curated image as the wrong spouse now hanging by a thread. Rick Lansing's initial plan was to leverage Michael's hidden affair to paint him as untrustworthy, thereby strengthening Willow's case for custody. However, this strategy teeters on the brink of collapse if the judge dismisses the personal drama as irrelevant to parenting capability. Worse still, Drew Quartermain's own skeletons threaten to tumble out of the closet. Insiders reveal that Drew allegedly bribed a nurse at General Hospital to fabricate a story about Michael refusing to support Willow's critical medical trip to a renowned burn clinic in Germania, trip meant to heal old wounds but now a potential weapon against Drew's credibility. If Carly, ever the opportunist, catches wind of this deception, she's poised to pounce, further destabilizing Willow and Drew's alliance. Adding fuel to the fire, Carly might also dredge up Nina Reeves' sinister role in Drew's past drugging scandal, a plot involving a shadowy figure named Jacinda and a dangerous dose of ketamine. Could this cascade offscripts bury Willow's hopes, or will she and Drew find a way to salvage their faltering campaign against Michael? The courtroom chaos, allies and adversaries. The custody hearing has morphed into a battlefield where every word and gesture carries weight, and Michael's fight is far from solitary. Sonny Corinthos, despite his own tumultuous history, stands firmly in his son's corner, his presence in the gallery a silent reminder of the family's unyielding resolve. Carly, too, remains a pillar of strength, though her protective instincts are tested as she navigates the fallout of Sasha's confession. Meanwhile, a surprising wild card emerges in Jocelyn Jostax, whose scathing testimony against Willow paints her sister-in-law as emotionally distant and unfit to prioritize Amelia and Wiley's needs. Joss's words, delivered with a mix of frustration and sorrow during a heated cross-examination, stem from a long-buried incident where Willow allegedly neglected a critical family emergency to focus on her career ambitions. This damning account adds another layer of pressure to an already volatile situation. Yet, with Sasha's potential labor crisis unfolding in real time, the courtroom spirals further into disarray. Cold and emergency recess to rush Sasha to General Hospital shift emotional tide in Michael's favor, or will it give Rick time to recalibrate his attack? The double-edged sword of Sasha's truth. At the heart of this storm lies the question, will Sasha's bombshell ultimately fortify Michael's claim to custody, or will it hand Willow and Drew the leverage they desperately need? On one side, Sasha's revelation and Michael's impassioned response could cast him as a figure of compassion and responsibility, especially if he openly embraces his role as her baby's father. A new subplot suggests Michael has already begun setting up a trust fund for Sasha's child, a gesture that might impress the judge as evidence of his foresight and dedication. However, the flip side is grim if Rick spins the affair as proof of Michael's instability or paints Sasha as a liability due to her past struggles with grief and addiction. The narrative could swing against them. Furthermore, a leaked rumor hints that Sasha's medical records, which include a history of emotional trauma following the loss of her first child, might be subpoenaed by Rick's team, adding a layer of vulnerability to her testimony. Will the judge see through these tactics as manipulative, or will they plant seeds of doubt about Michael's household being the best environment for Amelia and Wiley? The broader impact on Port Charles dynamics. Beyond the courtroom walls, Sasha's confession sends shockwaves through the fabric of Port Charles, reshaping relationships and alliances in unexpected ways. Friends and foes alike are forced to pick sides, with some of Michael's old business associates at Corinthos Coffee whispering about a potential rift with Jason Morgan, who might feel betrayed by not being in the loop about Sasha's pregnancy. Meanwhile, Willow's mother, Nina, grapples with her own guilt over past manipulations, fearing that her history with Drew's drugging scandal could resurface to further damage her daughter's case. A clandestine meeting at the Port Charles Grill between Nina and a mysterious contact suggests she is scrambling to bury old evidence, but at what cost? Even local gossip at Kelly's Diner buzzes with speculation about how this custody battle might unearth other long-buried secrets, such as a rumored connection between Drew and a defunct pharmaceutical company that once operated near the docks. Could these peripheral dramas intertwine with the central custody fight, creating a perfect storm of revelations? What lies ahead? A battle far from over. As the dust settles on this explosive courtroom showdown, one truth remains clear. The fight for Amelia and Wiley Corinthos is far from resolved. Sasha's admission has opened a Pandora's box of emotions and strategies, leaving both Michael and Willow at a crossroads. Will Michael's protective stance and Sonny's unwavering support tip the scales in his favor, or will Drew and Rick exploit every misstep to secure victory for Willow? And what of Sasha? Will her health and unborn child withstand the strain of this public ordeal, or will tragedy strike again to reshape the narrative? The coming episodes promise more twists, perhaps including a surprise witness from Michael's past who could corroborate his character or demolish it entirely. One thing is certain, in Port Charles, every truth comes with a price, and every battle leaves scars. Thank you for joining us at ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel as we navigate the labyrinth of drama unfolding in this unforgettable custody hearing. The stakes have never been higher, and we're eager to see how these revelations play out. What do you think? Will Sasha's confession help Michael win, or will it be his undoing? Share your predictions in the comments below, and stay tuned for more updates as we continue to follow every heart-pounding moment in Port Charles.